Alright, now we're gonna get critical. Today, we're watching When the Actress Has No Range. Now, as you guys don't know, I'm more familiar with this because I'm an actor myself, you know what I'm saying? Even if I only been in 2 plays in one movie that never got released, that still counts. Let's see the range, and I'll give my thoughts and opinions on this.
Some actors have versatility. Gal Gadot has presence, a lot of it. So
True.
much presence, in fact, that sometimes the plot forgets to happen around her. Gal Gadot is not an actress, she's a concept. She isn't so much a person as she is a brand extension of elegance. A
Really?
walking fragrance ad, a living screensaver. She's the answer to the question, what if a mannequin gained sentience, took a few acting classes, and
Okay, y'all can't be saying that. She was bad as Wonder Woman. Actually, no, that is his whole point. Oh my
then
god.
got cast as the most iconic female superhero of all time? She's tall, statuesque, and carries the serene energy of someone who has
Nah,
never
she
lost
was bad in this movie. Fast and Furious, what was it, 5 or 6? She was bad.
a single argument because she's never raised her voice above a whisper. To her fans, she's graceful. To her critics, she's emotionless. To Warner Bros., she's a contractual obligation. And to the rest of us, she's the
Oh
cinematic
yeah,
equivalent
Warner
of
Bros. Be using
chamomile
the shit
tea.
out of her.
Looks fancy, tastes like nothing. Before Wonder Woman turned her into a household name, Gal Gadot was already quietly building her cinematic resume. If
Mm-hmm.
by building you mean standing stoically in the background of Fast and Furious movies like a perfume ad with a driver's license. As Giselle, her character had all the depth of a sleek car brochure and about as many
She don't
facial
even look.
expressions. She was competent, sure could handle a gun, ride a bike, flirt with Han like it was part of a CIA op,
Damn, bro,
but
she was
emotionally she
bad.
remained locked
She
in
was bad. Wrong button.
neutral. Her dialogue delivery hovered somewhere between ASMR and Google Translate, which oddly enough made her feel perfect for a franchise that values vibes over vocabulary. When she delivered a line, it was less of a performance and more of a suggestion, softly implied emotions drifting past like smoke from a tire burnout. And yet, she fit the
Hold on,
world.
that's what
She
I'm
didn't
lucky
need to
seeing right
emote,
now.
she just needed to glide into frame with a smirk, say something that sounded vaguely international, and let the background explode in her wake. Moving on to Wonder Woman 2017. This was Gal Gadot's big moment. Her debut as Deanna Prince in Batman vs. Superman was brief, just
She
long
was
enough to strike a
bad.
pose and cause Hans Zimmer to lose his mind on a guitar solo, but Wonder Woman was the coronation. And to be fair, she looks the part. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone who better resembles a mythic warrior princess, handcrafted
She
by
was
Zeus's
bad. She was
interns.
bad, bro.
But
I
once she
remember I
opens
was
her
like, what,
mouth, things
14?
get complicated. Her performance is a blend of ethereal detachment and
Wait,
dramatic
no,
whispering,
2017. I was what? 11? I can't remember.
like she's constantly explaining something very important to a toddler.
And I believe in love.
She tells us while standing in the middle of World War I like an anthropomorphic motivational quote. There's a sincerity to it, sure, but it's the kind of sincerity you get from someone who learned their lines phonetically. The accent is thick, the delivery is flat, and the emotional range lives somewhere between mildly concerned and slightly more concerned. Critics praised her presence, which is a polite way of saying she stood there really well. She does that. She stands with
I wonder,
conviction. She
okay. So I wonder what really is acting then. Because technically that's considered acting. She's standing there doing, you know? So I'm trying to find out what the problem is. Now, the title says when the actress has no range, but so far I haven't heard any critic about the range. Yeah, she just stands there. But that's all he really said. He hasn't really gone too in depth or anything about it. So I can't really judge or give my opinion on it if I haven't really heard much. Because so far, yes, technically it's not the best acting, but it's still acting. Just not the best form of it. Kind of like The Rock. She kind of has the same roles, kind of like The Rock, only has the same roles. You know, the tough guy, the much like the buff one, and all he does is this and says he can't lose a fight in the contract. Blah blah blah.
strides with intensity. She stares into the distance like it's about to tell her a secret. And she says lines like, only love can truly save the world, as if she believes it, or at least as if she practiced saying it a lot in the mirror. But then came Justice League, where Gal Gadot officially entered her leading lady era, and with it, a new challenge. emoting while surrounded by a team of emotionally unstable superheroes and one very expensive CGI mustache cover-up.
Oh my
As Wonder
god, I
Woman, she
remember
was
that.
regal, determined, and deeply committed to saying things like, "We need to unite," as though she were reading from the back of a cereal box. Her voice, ever tranquil, rarely changed tempo. Whether she was talking strategy or mourning the fall of mankind, she sounded like she was halfway through a spa treatment. But all roads lead to the Kal-El. No moment, possibly the most
Kal-El.
unintentionally iconic line reading in the entire DCEU.
Hmm.
Superman has just been resurrected from the dead and is busy tossing Batman like a lawn chair, and in the heat of this high-stakes conflict, Gadot belts out,
Kal-El, no!
with the urgency of someone realizing
Kal-El.
their Postmates order went to the wrong address. It's not a scream, it's not even a plea, it's a light drizzle of disapproval. She says it like she's trying not to
Kal-El,
disturb a
no.
sleeping baby, or like,
I would have said it more like, Kal-El, no. You know what I'm saying? Like, add the little frustration in it, like, just to get that voice out, like, Kal-El, no. Instead of really, Kal-El, no. See, that's something you gotta learn. As an actor, you gotta really check that voice range. You know, it might be different for stage acting, because I know that's what the one I did, most of it. But I had to scream. I used to talk. I used to talk like this. I didn't really like raising my voice. Now, I like to really talk because that's, you're projecting. I feel like she just gotta learn how to project. I know. I know. What do you know? You're only been in 2 plays and in a movie that didn't come out. I know. I know. But you gotta understand. I know my shit. I know my shit. I know
Kal-El is
my
her
shit.
roommate who keeps forgetting to separate the recycling. The world is ending, punches are being thrown at hypersonic speeds, and Gal Gadot is mildly inconvenienced. You can't write that kind of deadpan delivery. It's the kind of line reading that echoes through time, a cinematic relic to be preserved in digital amber alongside. I am Groot. And do you bleed? And yet in its flatness, in its complete detachment from the gravity of the scene, it somehow becomes legendary. That's the Gadot paradox. She underplays everything so intensely that she swings back around into meme immortality. Critics might call it
Jeez.
wooden, directors might call it restrained, but there, in the middle of a movie that doesn't know whether it's an epic or a corporate apology, Gal Gadot remains unbothered.
Dude,
Her
I remember I
tone
watched the
never
4
wavers, her
hour
brow
version
rarely
of it.
furrows. She is, above all else, consistent. A statue with a SAG card, a goddess of glassy expressions sailing through chaos, as if protected by an invisible force field of, "I'm just here so I don't get fined." Now let's fast forward to Wonder Woman 1984,
Oh,
where everything
God.
got weird. The movie is a kaleidoscope of bizarre choices, magic
Ew.
stones, body-swapping ethics violations, and a villain whose motivation boils down to capitalism, but with jazz hands. And in the middle of it all is Gal Gadot, floating through the plot like a beautiful, unbothered ghost. There's a moment, an emotionally climactic moment, where Diana has to say goodbye to her magically resurrected boyfriend. She weeps, sort of. She cries,
Oh,
kind
look at
of.
that face.
Her lips tremble, maybe, and it all lands with the emotional weight of a soap ad. You don't feel it. You just recognize the intention of feeling. It's like the movie hired a robot to simulate heartbreak, and the robot was running low on battery. Next up, Red Notice, the Netflix action movie that feels like it was
Oh
written
my
by
God.
ChatGPT if you only fed it
Yo, you know
Instagram.
what's crazy? I tried to watch this because I like Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot. God damn, I forget. How did I already forget her name? Gal Gadot and Dwayne the Rock Johnson. This was like after, well, when it came out. I wanted to go see it because I knew all of them. They were tied. I thought it was gonna be a tough movie like the one with Ryan Reynolds. I think it was like called like Six something. But I thought it was gonna be like that movie because I actually enjoyed the other movie. I come on here, I couldn't even last 10 minutes. I was either on my phone or I just turned it off. I just couldn't. I couldn't.
Captions and leftover Fast and Furious scripts. Gadot stars alongside Dwayne Johnson and Ryan Reynolds in what can best be described as an algorithm's idea of chemistry. And yet, once again, she's magnetic, not because she's doing anything particularly compelling, but because she's doing it in heels and a $4,000 dress while holding a priceless egg. In Red Notice, Gadot plays a femme fatale who flirts, steals, and delivers exposition like she's reading bedtime stories to her iPhone. She's seductive in the way a luxury car commercial is
This guy
seductive.
he
All
going crazy on
curves,
her.
no substance, and no actual threat. When she fights, it looks like ballet. When she delivers punchlines, it's with the rhythm of someone who learned English last Thursday. She's not bad. She's just buffering. Then there's her role in Death on the Nile, which gave us perhaps the most unintentionally hilarious line reading in recent cinematic history.
And enough champagne to fill the
A
Nile.
line that should have been dripping with Gatsby-level decadence instead hits like Siri trying to flirt.
Okay, I can kind of understand it now that I'm actually hearing her voice. Let's go back real quick. So, I feel like, okay, maybe there is a way to get rid of the accents, because, you know, your boy got an accent. But I can kind of get rid of it. I'm wondering why the hell she hasn't tried to get rid of hers when she's doing other movies. Does she not sound the same? Me, personally, I think I like the accent. You know what I'm saying? See? It got some. You do. But anyways, let's really hear it. Let's hear the tone.
Cinematic history.
And enough champagne to fill the
A
Nile.
line
I can understand the tone of it. So it's like if I was saying enough champagne to fill the Nile. You know, like I kept in the same tone. You should have been like enough champagne to fill the Nile. Like, you know, adding in like, I don't know how to say it, but like I hope you guys are understanding. I hope I'm not looking too crazy.
that should have been dripping with Gatsby-level decadence instead hits like Siri trying to flirt. It's the kind of delivery that makes you pause the movie and stare at the wall for a second, wondering if you imagined it. But to blame Gadot alone is to miss the point. She's not being cast for her thespian chops. She's being cast because she is Gal Gadot, and that's powerful branding.
Mm-hmm.
She radiates poise, beauty, and a sense of serenity you usually only find in spa commercials. Her acting isn't dynamic, but it's consistent. She's like the Apple Store of performers, clean, polished, and emotionally sterile. Take Heart of Stone, the Netflix spy thriller that was supposed to be her franchise. She plays Rachel Stone, a super spy with the emotional depth of a Wi-Fi router. The action
Really?
scenes? Decent. The explosions? Frequent. Her facial expressions? 1. She delivers lines like, "I don't have friends, I have a mission," with the kind of energy you'd expect from someone asking for a manager. It's not dramatic,
Oh, God.
it's corporate. And yet, somehow it works. Not because she elevates the material, but because she is the material. She doesn't act through scenes, she glides across them like a skipping stone, beautiful in motion, never breaking the surface. So does Gal Gadot have no acting range? Well, define range. If you're looking for someone to scream, cry, collapse, and rage against the heavens, she's not your girl. But if
Yep.
you need someone to look stunning while holding a sword, whisper something about justice, and stare wistfully into a CGI sunset, she's unbeatable. She's
Yeah.
not a chameleon. She's a logo. You don't hire her to disappear into a role. You hire her to elevate it with her presence, her mystique, and the gravitational pull of her bone structure.
True.
She's
Hold on, I
not-
didn't think about this. Because usually when I'm thinking about an actor, I'm thinking about, you know, becoming that role, becoming that. He's not wrong. Because what she do, she don't become it. She elevates it by becoming her. The role becomes her. Because now when you think of Wonder Woman, you think about her. When you think about all these other roles, you think about her. Dang, I didn't even notice it. But it was in the back of my... Yo, that's actually crazy.
Not pretending to be a goddess. She's convincing you she already is one. In conclusion, Gal Gadot doesn't need acting range. She has the kind of face that makes people project depth onto silence. Her performances are not about emotional variety, they're about vibe. She's the ambient music of
Oh,
Hollywood.
God.
Soothing, stylish, and best left playing in the background while the plot happens around her. Critics may call it wooden, I call it branding. She's not here to
She's bad.
transform,
She's
she's
still
here to
bad.
remind you that Wonder Woman wears Dior.
Yo, he muted the video. But yeah, that's about it, guys. If you guys enjoyed, go ahead, drop a like. If you guys haven't yet, subscribe. Please, it would really help a lot. We're really close to 200 subscribers, and I just want to get there, man. But yeah, tell me what you guys thought about this. If you guys like my me, you know, an actor. Yes, I'm an actor. Okay, I'm an actor. Even though I've only been in two roles, 3 technically. But let me know if you guys want to see more about like movie related things, talk about acting, any of that, because I'm down for it. Shit, this is my department. And yeah, that should be all. Thank you guys again. See you guys in the next video.